Welcome to day 4 of our 5-day flow challenge. Let's get ready. Let's get present. Let's close off the world for a moment. Find your alignment. Maybe coming forwards and back. Finding those sit bones. Cross-legged does not work for you. Bringing one foot more forward than the other. Find a comfortable, tall position so we can start breathing to that belly. Breathing all the way to the sit bones. Let the anxiousness and worry melt away from the belly. Bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Relax the elbows, relax the shoulders, unclench the teeth. Soften the eyes. Breathe, connect the heart, connect the breath. Bring all of your senses and awareness to this mat. Two more breaths here. And start to relieve the hands to the side. Your eyes are closed, bringing awareness, keeping the eyes soft, but with intention, with presence. Today, we're going to get a little deeper in some of the postures, a little more strength. There's always modifications you can take. You can come into child's pose whenever you need it. You can come to knees in strong, stable table. Listen to your body always and be present and aware of the engagement from the toes to the top of the head. Perfect. We're going to do some seated cat-cows today. So we're going to bring our hands to our thighs. And we're just going to bring our chin all the way into the chest, rounding the back, coming to the very back of the sit bones, bringing that belly in, almost opening the shoulder blades. You can bring the shoulders in. And then as you inhale, come to the front of the sit bones, bringing that chin all the way up, even pressing the shoulder blades together behind you, lifting the chest, slight back bend, bring it in. This is cat. And then opening up again is cow. I'm just going to remove the bolster I have to really work with my sit bones. Use the abdominals. Use the back and the shoulder blades as you move through the seated cat-cow. Even feel the tightness through the legs as you come forward and lengthening as you come back. Two more. Perfect. We're going to open up those legs in a nice V, wide-legged V. Perfect. Find your sit bones, move that extra cushioning out of the way. And we're going to hinge forward from the hips, bring our fingertips in front of us. Lengthen through the crown of the head, all the way to the sit bones. Feel the lengthening through the legs. Keep the legs active. Don't lock the knees. Breathe. Perfect. Come all the way up. Back to center. We're going to twist our hips to face the right leg. And we're going to hinge over that right leg. Again, onto the fingertips. You can hold onto the leg. Don't lock the knee. And then while we're here, still in a forward fold, we're gonna bring the right arm on the outside into the inside of the leg. Palm faces up. And then we're gonna twist the shoulders to face forward, square to the front. And we're gonna bring that right arm overhead. Nice side stretch. Perfect. Bring that top arm forward as we come back into a forward fold through center, bringing those hands down to the mat. Inhale, come all the way back up. Bring those hands back down. Twisting from the hips again. We still keep everything on the mat though. But twisting from the hips to face that left leg, hinging over that left leg, bringing the hands forward or to the legs. Keeping some softness, some juiciness, as I like to call it, through the knee. One more breath here. We're going to bring that left arm onto the inside, palm facing up. Right arm all the way overhead. Remember, as I said in other challenges, if that shoulders is not like that hand overhead, always bring it back to goddess arms. Palms facing forward, a little L shape here. One more breath. And again, that top arm comes forward, forward folding. Bring both fingers to the mat. One more breath. And then bring the arms stretched out in front of you and come up all in one length from the hips. Perfect. Let's bring those hands down behind us. Let's bring in the legs and come right into tabletop. Right behind us, table. Wrists aligned with the shoulders, fingers spread apart, knees aligned with the hips. Breathe through those shoulders, through the belly, table. Look at where your gaze is at. Is it too behind you? Straining the neck. Bring it up to alignment with the shoulders. Or is it looking too forward? Doing an arch in the neck. Let's bring it down. Perfect. We're coming right into a downward facing dog. Tucking in those toes, pushing back to make sure you're on the ball of the feet. Or maybe you want to stay here just with the knees lifted, engaging through the chest. Maybe bringing the chest back towards the thighs. Or you're going to lift all the way up to downward facing dog, lifting those hips, walking the feet in, pushing into the heels, bring all of your weight back. 2 breaths here. You can walk up the dog if you like. Just gonna walk forward here. I want some space behind me as we come into a 3-legged dog. Raise that right leg behind you. Stretch it out. And then step that right leg all the way beside the pinky on the outside of the hand. The legs are on train tracks here. Shift the hips if you're having too much over to the right side. Bring them back to center. Breathe here for a moment. Drop that back knee. Untuck the toes. See if you can shift the hips back and forward. Back and forward. And then you can stay here lifted. You can bring that back knee a little bit further out. Remember, you can always lift the hips and come back if that stretch is too intense. So try to bring the hips a little bit forward. Making sure that right knee isn't going out on its own here. Pushing to the foot. And then you can come down to your forearms even if you like. One more breath here. And then come back up to the hands. Perfect. We're gonna tuck in the toes on that back leg. Bring our hips back slightly. Engaging that leg, picking it all the way up. Engage through the hips. And we're gonna step this right leg all the way back into a downward facing dog. Walk in the feet. Walk it out. Perfect. And when you're ready, we're gonna bring that left leg all the way back, stretch it back, and step it forward on the outside of that left hand, beside the pinky. Square the hips back. Stay here for a moment. Aligning, and then dropping that back knee, untucking the toe, and moving back and forward. Very gently. Perfect. Come back into alignment. If you like, you can stretch that right leg a little bit further back, that knee. And then you can stay up on the hands. You can lower down to the forearms if that's reachable for you today. And just breathe. Try to push into the foot. One more breath. Perfect. Bring the hips back slightly. Engage that back foot. Bring that leg back, active. Engage through the core so you can bring this front leg all the way back. Bring in the feet. Downward facing dog. Walk it out. You can always come to tabletop. Beautiful. This time we're gonna step both feet to the outside of the hands. So let's bring the right foot up first. Step it to the outside. The right foot beside the pinky. Step that left foot to the outside. Come into a yogi squat. Bring the hips down, chest comes up. And breathe. I said we were getting a little deeper, a little more strength in our poses. Breathe. One more breath. Perfect. Place the hands down on the mat. Bring up all the hips. Straighten the legs. Let the head come forward if you can. If you don't get dizzy, or keep the heart lifted. Form of ragdoll. Let it all go. Perfect. Start to heel toe those feet back underneath your hips. Spread the toes. Make sure you're putting equal weight in the corners of all the feet. Perfect. We're just going to step it right back into a high plank or onto your knees. Placing down the hands. Wrists align with the shoulders. Active through the core. Lifted, lifted. Active through the shoulders. Breathe, breathe, breathe. You want to come into a low plank. Those elbows come nice and close to the body. Stay nice and tight through the body. And then push up. Upward facing dog. Bring the tops of the feet to the mat. Breathe. Let's lower down all of the legs. Let's bring those elbows nice and close. Hands should be underneath the shoulders. Elbows nice and close. Just lifting, keeping the shoulders and the chest slightly lifted. Looking forward, breathe. Perfect. Bring the legs together if they're apart. Make them one strong leg. Toes are pointed. Activate the glutes, the legs. See if you can lift the hands off of the mat. Engage through the shoulder blades. Breathe. Perfect. Place the hands back down underneath the shoulders. You can stay here, lift it through the chest, or see if you can push into the hands, coming all the way up. Lifted chest, lifted belly. Full cobra here. Find the length through the belly, through the chest. One more breath. Perfect. Lower all the way down. Forehead to the mat. Two more breaths here. Perfect. We're going to bring the left knee out. So it's aligned with our hip. The foot is pointed out. And you can bring the hands into those goddess arms, those little L's, palms facing down, and bring the right cheek to the mat. And just settle here. We're relaxing that hip to come down. Relax the glutes right now. Two more breaths here. Two more long breaths. When you're ready, bring your chin back to center, forehead facing the mat. Bring that left leg back behind you, nice and long, and switch over to the right side. Right foot's pointed out, knee is at shoulder height. Relax that hip, relax the glutes. Change the left cheek is on the mat this time. Relax the glutes. One more breath. And bring that right leg all the way in. Bring the hands back underneath the shoulders, forehead pointed down. We're going to actively push up from the knees to do a push up from the knees. So I want to tuck in my toes, making the legs active. Push in the knees so your bum is going to lift a little bit. Make sure those elbows are nice and close to the body. The hands and wrists are underneath the shoulders. And we're going to activate the belly, bring it in. Activate the back, and we're going to push up from the hands to the knees. And hold. And then lift the hips to be aligned with the knees. Bring it all back, forehead to the mat, melted heart or puppy pose. One more breath. And then sliding the hands back underneath the shoulders, coming back into tabletop. It's that easy. Push through the shoulders. Perfect. We're going to come over to one side and swing those legs all the way around. All the way around. Finding those sit bones, wiggle it all out. Feel nice and tall again. Look up a little bit. Look down a little bit. We look towards one chin or one shoulder. I hope not one chin. And then bring it back to center. All the way over to the other shoulder. Bring it back to center. Perfect. We're going to go into half shoelace here. Let's make the left leg active. Those toes are pointed up. Remember not to lock the knee. And then bring that right leg all the way over. The knees are trying to stack here. Nice tight between the thighs. That right foot is pointed out. Be up nice and tall. You can even come forward from the hips if you like. Fingers are coming to the mat. One more breath. Coming all the way back up. Let's switch legs. Activate that right leg. Toes are pointed up. Crossing that left over. Find those sit bones. Come up nice and tall. And then you can come forward from the hips if you like. Fingers coming towards the mat. One more breath. And walk yourself all the way back up. Allow the legs to be nice and long. Shake it all out. We're just going to actively lower down. This time you can try, depending on your hip flexors here, you can come into butterfly or you can come down just with the feet planted, coming with active arms, fingers, and we're just lowering down, hinging from the hips. Today I'm going to do a variation, bringing into butterfly, moving up that natural cushioning first, being nice and tall, shoulders back, and then bringing those hands back up to that warrior position, shoulders back, and then starting to lower from the hips, trying to keep those wings apart, and lower all the way back down. Perfect. And then once you're there, allow the legs to be long, everything to be heavy, palms facing up. And we're going to give ourselves one long breath where we stretch our arms to wherever is comfortable overhead, holding wrists, maybe holding elbows. Wherever's comfortable, just stretching them out nice and long. Point the toes. Long breath. Breathe all the way to this little pond we create between our rib cage and our belly. So we stretch out nice and long. Getting rid of any anxiousness that settles in the belly. One more breath. Perfect. Start to release the hands, let the feet flop open, palms face up in the hands. Find if you have to separate the legs or wiggle it out, side to side. Feel where the legs don't feel active anymore. The hips are relaxed, the belly is soft. The chest is lifted, the shoulders are back. The arms are relaxed. The jaw is unclenched. The tongue is heavy in the mouth. The eyes are soft. Remember, you have the power to change your mood. Don't give that power to others or to situations. If it starts to settle, shake it out, move out that energy, and bring it back to the mood you'd want to be. The good energy, the lifted energy. So you can see things clearly, you can see the good, even in the hardest times. And with the next inhale, start to stretch out the fingers and toes, bringing a little more activity to the body. Maybe start to wiggle it out. Maybe start to activate the legs again, pointing up those toes, moving side to side from the heels all the way to the hips. Feel that movement. Perfect. Start to place the palms down, activating top half of you. And when you're ready, sliding one leg to the mat, sliding the other leg to the mat. Tilt the pelvis, lengthen the spine. Bring it all the way over to fetal position, one hand under the head. Breathe. And then come to a seated position, trusting that you will feel the stuff around you if you're really present. Finding those sit bones. And as always, I like to end the practice with a nice straight alignment, giving thanks for everyone that shares their energy in this practice. And raising up the arms, soaking it all in. Bringing in through the mind. May only good intentions settle in the mind. Bring it in through the heart. May we always lead with an open, caring heart. Namaste.
Hi, Elizabeth of Life Food Yoga here. If you like that video, I want to gift you with a free 1-hour beginner flow class. This flow will help you have better movement for the entire day and set you up for a great mindset to take on that day. So click on the link below. It'll take you to a page, enter your name and email, and you'll get access right away. Also, I'm going to continue to create content for you. So hit subscribe so you don't miss out. And let me know in the comments what you'd like to see, shorter or longer videos. Finally, give it a like, and I hope that you take on this day living life to the fullest.